Welcome everybody to my newest Let's Play, Déjà Vu II on the Game Boy Color. So this is an immediate sequel of Déjà Vu I that I just completed. When I did the playthrough on the Game Boy Color to show off a few new things, it instantly transitioned into Déjà Vu II. That's because Déjà Vu II takes place basically within 48 hours after we've cleared our name from the murder of Joey Siegel. Now we're still in trouble, so it's been a bad week for Ace Harding here. Just like the first game, he's going to start off in a bathroom here, but at least unlike the first game, Ace remembers who he is. However, he's on the hook for $112,000 to this mobster here, Toni Malone. He basically had ties with Joey Siegel, and since you were basically one of the last people who knew Joey or interacted with Joey, he thinks that maybe you have something to do with the missing money. So basically the point in this game is to basically try to find that money and get the mob off our back. So, we can look in the mirror, at least it lets us remember who we are, so it gives a little bit of an update about what just happened if you haven't played Déjà Vu I. If you haven't played Déjà Vu I, it's not necessary to play it to go through this game, but we will be going back to Chicago and visiting a lot of the old places that we were in Déjà Vu I. So it would make a lot of sense to be familiar with Déjà Vu I before you play this game, but it isn't necessary. It will make it easier though. So open our trench coat up, find some gum, but it's empty. In the regular Macintosh version, it was initially cigarettes. Then remember, Nintendo censored things, made gum instead. You don't even get to eat any gum in this game. At least in the last game, you got to take some gum and try it out. It didn't do anything, but it's still, something to interact with. So I'll be interacting with a lot of things in this game, just like to show off flavor text. I'll be taking items that are basically necessary to complete the game. Some stuff I'll be leaving behind, but I'll be trying to examine pretty much everything to actually show off the writing. So we open the pants pocket, get our wallet and our key 1. If you look at that, we recognize that's the key to our apartment. And right now we're currently in Las Vegas. That's where Toni Malone is, and his crew basically abducted us. We'll make our way back to Chicago though, and we'll be exploring a bunch of places there, old places that we saw in Déjà Vu I, and some new places like Ace's apartment. So, we're going to make sure we open up newspaper clip 1 to get newspaper clip 2 out of it. Newspaper clip 2 is basically going to allow us to win a lot of money. That money is going to be used, rather than buying cabs, but instead to buy train tickets. Like I said, you'll be going from Los Angeles to Chicago, back and forth, so. But right now we don't have enough money to afford a trip. But you'll see newspaper clip 2 will allow us to gain a lot of money. Here we find out our real name is Theodore, and we get an address to our place. It's nice that they, when we start taking all this money and putting it into it, it stacks. So like the $10 and the $1 bills will stack to $12. Have all the stuff. And you want to make sure that you grab the clothes. Now, I'll be showing off the deaths and arrests, just like I did in Shadowgate and in Déjà Vu I. Normally right now, what you'd want to do is you want to put your clothes on. Right now you're technically naked. You can kind of see that if you look at yourself. Right now we're going to look at this guy right here. Mr. Stogie Martin. He's basically one of Tony's hitmen, enforcers. And he's basically following you around to make sure that, you don't try to escape town. If you try to escape town or some stuff happens, like you get arrested, well, Stogie will be there to put an end to you. And I, of course, will show off that. And so, let's give me another little train schedule. I guess it's another address. Look at this. We're going to make sure that we grab, several times we'll have the option to get Stogie's cigar ring. It looks like he's the only one that's a clue, he's the only one who smokes those cigars. So that's basically the way we're going to eventually frame Stogie for something that we will do, but he'll take the fall for it. We can help make him take the fall for it by always taking those cigar rings and planting them in places. So this is Stogie's assignment, basically follow you around, make sure that Tony gets his money back. So you don't have to take that piece of paper. But like I said, you do want to take this cigar ring. Now, if you try to leave your room without clothes on, well, you're going to get thrown back into your room. It looks tough. Hey, you can't walk around here stark naked. Well, it's kind of like a game over. They just push you back another room. So yeah, you're going to have to use your clothes on yourself. Yeah, see, if you look at yourself, you look particularly naked. You're just going to put your pants on. I'm going to put the trench coat on too, so it gives us that nice look, that detective look. There we go. We'll be changing outfits a few times in this game. Always want to have clothes on you though. You don't want to take off the outfit and then start walking around naked, because that can get you game over. So that's our bedroom there to the right. We can't get into it anymore. The game kind of locks you out of it. So we don't have the key anymore. There's some more rooms to the left up the elevator, but we can't really do anything in them until later on. But we are going to have to get some money. So that's where we're going to head into the casino there. And we're going to put the $10 to use and that newspaper clipping 2 that we found. So nothing really important in this game, this room here. Just like to look at everything. In Déjà Vu 1, we got a lot of money in that secret casino by using the rigged slot machine. In this game, we're going to get money basically by playing at a blackjack table, as it is kind of rigged. Although you have to do certain actions to make it rigged. If you just go in there and play on your own, you'll just lose, most likely. If you do happen to not do what you're supposed to do and lose all your money, you can leave the hotel and wander around the desert, and sometimes like in the desert, you'll find like a $10 bill. And then you can come back here, trade the $10 bill to this cashier, and get two chips. Unfortunately, Ace doesn't have much charm. He tries to charm this lady, but she doesn't reciprocate. She does gladly take our money, though. You obviously want to get 2 chips. You try to buy more chips. She's like, "That you don't have enough money." So yes, you have $2 left. I can try to buy a chip, but she'll remind me that like, no, there's no scamming her. Not enough, pal. Speaking of pals, We see one of our pals right here, the blackjack dealer. But I guess he doesn't necessarily recognize us right away, or we don't recognize him, because you have to do something to get him to recognize us. We get a little clue there. This guy looks awfully familiar. We need his name tag. Rudy. Well, if we look at the newspaper clipping 2, we'll learn who Rudy is. But before I do that, I'm going to just play one game of blackjack here with him. I'll just bet one chip, so I don't have to go out and looking for a chip in the desert. I'll show off the rules of this, but basically it's you both try to get to 21. Whoever gets 21 or gets higher wins. So yeah, by talking with him, you can get the rules if you don't know them. I'll show that. First I'm going to kind of show off a death. Not really a death. It's interesting though, if you try to hit, if you hit the dealer, he throws you out. Or the bodyguard throws you out. That's one of the few people that you can hit and not get a game over. Most other people, if you hit them, what will end up happening is the cops will arrest you for assault. You get thrown in jail, and then at the end of a week's time, Stogie will come bail you out of jail, and he'll pump you full of lead for not getting the money that Toni wants. And I'll of course show that off. Basically I'll show that off at the end of this episode. But so by talking with him, you get to see the rules of blackjack. Add your cards up to 21 without going over. You deal 2 cards, one face down, the other face up. Decide how much you want to bet. Place your bet. At most you can bet 10 chips at a time. Of course, we only start with, we'll have one chip right here now. Now, even once the game gets rigged, you can still lose. So, it's very rare though. But you don't want to, of course, go down to 0. So basically just like gamble half of your tokens that you have, your chips, until you get more than 10, and then just keep betting 10 over and over and over again. That's the best way to make a lot of money. Unfortunately, we can't keep using the whatchamacallit. We can't keep using this gambling to make up that $112,000. You can make close to 1,000 before the scam is kind of up. But from the newspaper 2 clipping basically shows that this guy, he used to be our sparring partner. Remember, he used to be a boxer? This guy used to spar with us, train with us. And once we show him that, remind him of that, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to win. So just keep betting, and I'm going to make a little jump here. But yeah, look, it's like we have 17. Normally, you're supposed to just hold on 17, but hey, since he's basically rigging the deck for us, he purposely loses, and we keep going on. So as you can see, I've made up to 196, and I end up losing. And when you get around 200 things, he starts getting nervous. He basically says this: "I can't keep this up. The boss is watching." And that's your clue that, all right, I have enough money. I don't need to do this anymore. And then we can just get out of here and cash in our chips now. And we'll have, like I said, close to $1,000. So that's more than enough money to get us where we need to go. We can turn it 50 at a time, so I will fast forward turning in these chips. Put it in. Turn on your coins. Like I said, that might close to $1,000. Nowhere near enough for the money that Toni Malone wants us to get, but it's more than enough to get us around this game. Now here in the casino, if you go to the left, there's some stuff over there, 2 screens over. To the right is the train station. Basically, this is where we'll end the game. Outside here, I'll make a save. Yeah, there's a train station. We'll jump in here and go to Chicago then. in the next episode. But there's a few things you want to show off. So I'm just going to make a save here. That way, when I do start episode 2, I'll start right out from here. But I'll use the remainder of this episode to basically show off the desert. There's a really big desert. And like I said, you can wander around here, look at some stuff, get some flavor text from the trees, the skulls. Sometimes you'll see a lizard run by, a vulture will fly by. Now once you, toward the end, there's kind of 2 ways to win the game. After you kind of like frame Stogie and kind of cause a little mob civil war to go on, you can escape into the desert, wander around here, or you can just get a train to another place, as long as you're not in the casino when the gang war goes down. But for the most part, you're not really going to be spending a lot of time in the desert here. Of course, if you have no money, you can wander around the desert, and sometimes you'll find money. But the reason we don't want to spend too much time in the desert here is because after so many moves, you start to get delirious. You see a mirage, a lemonade stand, water, I need water. But you realize it's just a mirage. I think once you see the mirage, you have 6 turns to get back out of the desert. And if you don't in that time, well, you're going to pass out from heat exhaustion, and then you'll have heat stroke and die in the desert. And that's one way to close the case. It's not a successful way to close the case, and that's what we want to do because, obviously, Ace wants to live. So, this is our first legitimate death. And I'll show off a second legitimate death back at the train station. I mentioned earlier, if you try to hit somebody, you get arrested. So let's just show out what happens here. This guy is just sitting at the train station, and we just walk up and knock him out with a left hook. What does that do? Well, gets us arrested for, for assault. Cops come and arrest us, and you think, oh, right, I'm going to be in jail, I'll be safe from the mob. Nope, because like I said, after 7 days, Stogie's going to show up, post our bail, and he's going to shoot us. It's pretty funny, the flavor text here. I'm going to take you someplace nice and quiet, Ace. You're going to think, hey, Stogie's not that bad after all. But then he unloads 2 shotgun shells into you. Not how we want to end. But speaking of ending, we will be ending the episode here, and we'll be starting the next episode outside the train station. Have a good one. Bye.